Welcome to the Manual Channel. I'm your host, Dan Gall, and today we are talking with two-time IndyCar champion Alex Palou. We'll be diving into his racing journey, strategies, and what's next for him. But before we do, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Well, Alex, I want to thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Let's start off with race days intense. Obviously, just even getting from the airport to the track. But how do you prepare leading up to a race? It must be intense. Do you have any specific like mental or physical preparations for a race weekend?
We always like prepare physically. At least I always have the same routine where I work every single morning with my trainer back in Indianapolis. And then depending on our schedule with the races, we have meetings at the shop with the team, the engineers, the mechanics. This particular race, it's been a big compress in between two races. We're coming from Gateway, St. Louis this past week, and we're going to Milwaukee next weekend. So we didn't really have that much time of preparation in between the races. So we had to do that like 2, 3 weeks prior to coming here. But yeah, we're ready. We're pumped. It's a track that we love. It's a place that I enjoy a lot, and hopefully it can be a good weekend for us.
Yeah. What is a typical workout routine look like for you in season versus off season?
Yeah, we switch a lot. I do a little bit of CrossFit. It's not hardcore CrossFit where you go crazy with weights. I cannot really go up with weights a lot, just because otherwise I just gain a ton of weight that it's not useful for the car. So we combine a little bit of CrossFit with normal weights, a lot of neck training for driving purposes, and then a little bit of cardio, which I don't really enjoy, but we have to do it.
What's the cardio that you're doing? Is it like running, bike riding, like, anything specific?
Running. Yeah, all running. I used to do a lot of mountain bike and I really enjoyed it, but I broke my collarbone. That must be like eight years ago. And yeah, it's a thing that it's a lot of joy, but at the same time too much risk for our season. So yeah, I just run. I try and run. I try.
What do you mean by try to run? Like, is it like on a treadmill, or are you on a like a road running? Like, do you feel like you're not very athletically inclined to running, or is it just more like you hate
I
running
would
and it's boring?
say, no, I like it. Well, I don't fully love it, but I like it. The issue is I'm very slow. I'm not fast at all when I run. So it's a really hard workout for me. If it goes past 30, 40 minutes, I'm dying. So even if it's on a sunny day, it's a struggle for me to go fast. But I try my best.
And then from a travel routine, like, I'm assuming you fly in like today on a Thursday, you guys leave probably on a Monday, I'm assuming. What is that travel routine like for you to just kind of stay at your peak performance when you need to drive?
Yeah, it depends. These like Portland and the West Coast races are the toughest, basically because of the change and how many hours it takes us to travel. Like door to door, I had to wake up this morning at around 5 a.m. in Indy, which was like 2 a.m. here in Portland, and just got here in at 2 p.m. So it's a long travel day. While normally, we're able to do like 80% of the season just driving 4 or 5 hours max, and it's just a little bit easier on like travel schedule and stuff. So yeah, I it's fine. It is what it is. It's the same for everybody. So normally, I would try to fly in on like Wednesday just to have more time here, but as we had so many back to backs, I didn't want to make every race longer by just extending the day. So.
Yeah. Do you have any things that you do to combat that jet lag and that fatigue on long travel days like today?
No, really, just a little bit of sport and go to sleep. Normally, we have so much stuff going on that when it comes to sleep time, I'm ready to go to bed. So I'm good. I'm easy with 3 hours. It's big enough, but at the same time, it's if you do enough during the day and you get to the end of the day tired, it's quite easy to recover.
Yeah, thankfully you're not going to other countries right now or anything like that, right?
Yeah,
So where
will
depending.
be a lot tougher if it's 6 hours. Six hours, it's tough. It's a struggle. But 3 hours we can deal with it.
I'm going to keep on this theme a little bit, dive into diet, because I feel like diet for any athlete is such a critical part of their routine. What does it look like for you? Are you on any specific diet while you're in season?
I try and just eat as good as possible. Like yeah, I like normally I like good food anyway. Like I had a salad today because I enjoy it and it makes me feel better. But yeah, I wouldn't say I am very strict on what I eat or what I don't eat. Like I'm binging, if I need to eat a pizza, I'll eat a pizza and I'll work out a little more the next day. But yeah, as long as we keep our weight constant during the season, and as long as we feel good energy levels wise, it's easy.
So tell me more about foods because you're mentioning pizza, you're mentioning salad. What are some of your favorite foods?
I would say my favorite go-to food is sushi. That's the one thing I could eat every day. But apart of sushi, I really like cooking at home. Not myself, but I like my wife's food. So
Yeah, home
we,
cooked meal.
yeah, we try and it's tough, but we try and have a diet that it's close to what we would have in Spain. So we try and yeah, and have food that takes us closer to our home food.
I think everybody appreciates a home cooked meal, especially if you're traveling a lot, right? It kind of
Yeah.
is your connection back to family and where you're from, right?
Yeah, and especially that, as you said, that we travel so much, we don't really like to eat out all the time, and we just want a simple meal at home, even if it's a quick omelette or something like that, something quick.
Yeah. Does your family travel with you frequently on your race days?
No, like my wife and I have a daughter now that it's 8 months and a half. When we go with a car, yes, they travel with me. But races like today, where it's a long day of travel, they stayed home.
Yeah. Congratulations on your baby daughter.
Thank you.
Yeah. And being a dad. It's awesome. It's a great segue. What do you find to be the hardest part of being a driver? Is it the travel and being away from family or other things?
Yeah, I would say that's actually the only part that it's hard. All the rest, it's amazing. Like I get to do what I most like, which is to drive fast cars, and with that comes to travel around. The only issue is being away from home, being away from my parents and all my family. It's the price that I think that you have to pay. So yeah, I'm lucky enough that I would say once or twice a year, my parents and some like my grandparents, they can come from Spain to the US. And then obviously we have such a long season that I'm always able to go 1 month during December normally. I would say that's the only bad part. All the rest, it's good, it's easy, and it's fun.
And you're from a small town north of Barcelona, correct?
Yeah.
Do you, you go back to every December? Do you miss that small town feel, or do you enjoy? I mean, even Indianapolis, I think, is probably somewhat of a small city as
Yeah,
well.
it's yeah. I mean, it's not. I don't live in downtown Indy, so I'm kind of an area that it's really calm and it's not the same, but you could some stuff that it's closed. At least I don't have the craziness of a city. So yeah, I miss it obviously, but I could take all my family here. It would be perfect.
So you cut out there for the last like 5, 10 seconds. Could you restate that from you miss it, but
Yeah, I obviously I miss it, but at the same time, I'm on an area that in Indianapolis that I love. It's really calm. There's no craziness going on. Like I mean, no traffic or anything like that. I can always go back home, so I home will be there in 10 years, in 2 years. So that feel doesn't make me want to go back like now. I'm happy. My wife and I enjoy a lot living here in the US. So it's an amazing opportunity that we have.
oh yeah, and you got plenty of time, right? Throughout your career and currently, I mean, you started racing at a really young age. I want to say it was like 6 years old, right? Doing kart racing.
Yeah, I started training or well doing some laps when I was 5, but my first race was when I was 6. Yeah.
Is that normal? I feel like a lot of racers start at a very young age in karting, and it's the exception if you don't. So, like, is that normal, like 5 years old, 6 years old, or is it maybe a little bit older?
Yeah, I would say the normal is from 5. I've seen as young as 4, 3, and it could go up to like 10. I would say that's the normal range. Going above that, it's possible as well, and we've seen some people, but I think it's a lot tougher. I don't really know why is that. I would say it's just because it's like you can follow the steps when obviously when you start super young and start in a really small go-kart and try and learn the simple stuff there and try and go up. Yeah, it's the normal on our sport.
That to me means you've got a ton of experience when you start that young to where you are now. Are there any like key lessons that you've learned through that time that you've benefited from that you could share with other people that are, looking to be motivated by you or maybe even potentially inspire their kids to become drivers?
I don't know. I mean, I obviously learned how to drive fast, how to have fun with it, how to develop setups and feel the car when you drive it. But I would say the biggest takeaway was traveling with my family from go-kart to go-kart inside Spain, outside Spain, and just working on the cars together, getting through really tough times together, getting through some wins together. And I would say that's the biggest takeaway, not skills or things I learned, but just that memories that had together with my family thanks to the sport. I think otherwise I would have found another way to still have fun and do stuff with my family. But I would say getting through so many tough and good times at the same time, it's pretty awesome.
Do you have siblings as well? And do they race?
Yeah, I have one sister. She's 15 and she did not race. No, she was not
Okay.
very interested.
Did she come along with you guys when you were karting?
Oh yeah, yeah, she did. But maybe because she did so young that she was like, that's not for me.
Yeah, yeah, I totally get that. That's how I was with like my dad. My dad had a small business, and I didn't want anything to do with it because I was around it my whole life, right?
Yeah, so maybe she had the same thing, which I think it's kind of okay. It's a tough thing, I would say, for my mom to start over again and see not only one but two kids doing races around the world.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. What's the thing you enjoy most about racing?
I would say the challenge of having to improve yourself every single day outside and on track. But when it comes to on track, you need to improve your driving. Every lap is the most important lap of your whole life, and then it starts all over again. And then you need to improve the car as well, together with your team. Now it's with engineers and mechanics. It used to be only with my dad back in go-karts, but now it's with a whole group of people, more than in my team in Ganassi. There's more than 150 people working towards one goal, and that goal is to win. So yeah, I found that the competition, the most interesting part, and what keeps you going more and more and more, and keeps you motivated.
Are you thinking of strategies? I mean, I'm assuming yes, but like, do you study other drivers and maybe like their habits and how they drive so that you can develop a strategy to be offensive and defensive with them?
Yeah, I would say it's tough. Like once we get to this point, it's quite tough. Like let's say if I'm a very aggressive driver, it would be very tough to change completely and to be like, oh, suddenly I'll be super smooth with the car. And the same goes for the opposite. If you're normally super smooth with tires, it's tough to change your way of driving 100% in order to try and replicate other drivers. But you can always take away stuff. Like you can always look at the data or the videos of your teammate and see that he was braking super deep and then study why he was braking super deep. Like it's not only about, oh yeah, I'll also brake there when I pass the tree. No, we study a lot. I would say everybody does. And I would say that's also one of the fun parts of the sport. You can always keep learning. You can always brake a little bit deeper, go on throttle a little bit earlier, carry just 1 more mile an hour. Like it's not much. It's only 1 mile an hour, but maybe that can be the difference. So yeah, we do a lot. That's mostly what we do when we prepare the races. When we go back to your first question of like how we prepare, that's basically what we do. We go back to last year's and we try and analyze.
Is that a lot of time spent? I would imagine so, right? But every like you said, every 1 mile an hour, every small change plays out significantly over the course of the race, right? I mean, that's the whole point is that if you can get a 0.1 second faster per lap, that adds up at the end of the race to winning or losing.
Yeah, like this year we've done two polls in qualifying. One of them was like less than 1/100th of a second, or
Wow.
no, less than one. I don't remember. It was like nothing, less than 1/10. Like it was almost nothing, and that just comes to like little details all over the track, and also not only driving. Like our team makes the same thing. Like they analyze the other teams and they try and get a little bit of speed everywhere they can in the cars. So yeah, that's how we try and win races.
So when you're not behind the wheel, and training and strategizing, what are the other types of racing that you enjoy watching?
All kinds of racing, I would say. Yeah, I really like obviously I follow Formula One, I follow Junior Series, I follow GTs, I follow a little bit of NASCAR from time to time, not but yeah, I follow everything. Not dirt, just because I don't really understand it. I've never been around, but maybe one day I'll try and get into.
Some motocross, maybe. Well, are there any
Sometimes,
specific?
yeah,
Yeah,
just for
motocross is
fun.
fun. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
feel like they don't broadcast it enough to be able to
Yeah.
watch it on TV, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's fun. It's amazing. It's a blast to see what they are able to do.
yeah, the Daredevils, man. Are there any specific drivers? Is there a specific driver that you look up to out of any of those other series?
When I was a kid, yes, I would look up to Michael Schumacher when he was in the Ferrari era. That's what I grew up watching. But now, no, I really enjoy talent, obviously, and enjoy the skill that some other drivers have. Like, yeah, I mean, watching Verstappen see what he's able to do on really good cars, on bad cars, on whatever he drives, it's pretty cool. But let's say that nowadays I don't look up to one single driver.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you're right up there with them, man.
Mm,
So,
thank you.
so Piers, I'm going to hop into a lightning round, real quick. So nothing, crazy, shocking, surprising or anything like that, but just, want to hear your
Right on.
thoughts on these. If you could have any car in the world, what would it be?
Ford Mustang, Eleanor.
What's your dream vacation destination?
I would say Maldives.
All right. We all have that one fashion accessory we can't do without. What is your one fashion accessory?
Fashion accessory. I don't really have black
What about
clothes, black
watch
jeans.
or shoes or anything like that? Oh, that's
I
not
always wear the same shoes. So yeah, no, I'm not a fashion guy at all. Zero.
awesome. Great. When you finally get some downtime, what's your go-to activity to relax and unwind?
Nowadays, I would say just playing with my daughter. I would say before probably some outdoor sports. Now I would try and pickleball from now and then with some friends, which is pretty fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
If you weren't an IndyCar driver, which extreme sport would you love to have tried?
Extreme. I was gonna go for like tennis, but I wouldn't say that extreme. So
Tennis
yeah, I would
works.
say I would stick to tennis. I wouldn't do extreme sports.
Okay. And then favorite thing to do in Indianapolis.
Walk around with my baby and my wife.
All right.
That's it.
And
Obviously, yeah, going to the track and all that stuff. But yeah, I would say my favorite is being around with my girls at home.
spending time with the family. There's nothing wrong with that, and very envious. Before we wrap up, what's something that you don't get asked often in interviews, but wish you were?
Honestly, you actually did, which is more the preparation instead of what we how the season is going. I find that pretty boring. Like everybody knows how the season is going. when it's good, everybody knows. When it's bad, everybody knows. So why ask? I find quite interesting when people like you ask about the preparation, what drives us to continue going, what motivates us, and obviously it's fast cars and blah blah blah. But it's what there's always one thing that it's pushing you. So yeah, you it was pretty good.
No, thank you for that. I appreciate that compliment. I want to know more about you. I mean, your work speaks for itself, right? And that's perfect transition into Alex with only 4 races left in the season, and you're leading the points. And the finish line is in sight. So best of luck at PIR, Portland International Raceway this weekend, and in closing out the season strong. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today. Good luck and thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Likewise. And with that, we are out. Thanks for joining us today. Have an amazing day.